We go back now to our top story, the shakeup at the SAAQ. The Legault government has fired Eric Ducharme, the head of the Auto Insurance Board, and it's the latest development as the fallout from the SAAQ scandal continues. Joining us now is political analyst Victor Henriquez. Thank you for your time today, Victor. And you know, there have been so many twists and turns in the story about the botched digital rollout, out of control cost overruns. As we know, there's an inquiry underway right now. But just for more background and context, tell us a little bit more about Eric Ducharme, because he was brought in a couple of years ago, supposedly to clean things up at the SAAQ.
In fact, he was brought in first, Maya, to regain confidence from the public after the SAAQ implementation fallout, when everything didn't work at the SAAQ when they started SAAQ. And Mr. Ducharme was brought in to make sure that he was able to regain confidence, to take control of the operations in 2023. He's now the second CEO to pay by his job for the SAAQ fiasco, and is replaced now by another person who's going to have a very high mandate to make sure that she finally regains confidence of the public and that she puts some order into the SAAQ.
And who is that person? Can you tell us more about her?
So Annie Lafont, she used to be the vice president for digital transformation at Beneva, which is an insurance company, and now she was named a few weeks ago in charge of the client experience of the SAAQ. So she has the right profile for the situation that we are going through, because right now the Auditor General on her last report said that Mr. Ducharme doesn't seem very interested in making changes inside the SAAQ. So she's going to have to put actions in place to make sure that the fiasco doesn't happen again, to make sure that we regain control of the expenses on this situation, and that to make sure that after the inquiry, we have the right person to put in place the actions that the report is going to recommend.
Sounds like we're looking at a shift in the culture within the organization. So what do you think about the timing of this decision to get rid of Mr. Ducharme? Was this just a matter of time, I guess?
Yes, because as I said in the last report from the Auditor General, it was very clear that if that person, Mr. Ducharme, wasn't able to do the changes inside the house that needed to be done to make sure that this fiasco doesn't happen again and that we regain control of the expenses, it was a matter of time until it was going to be changed. Now, Ms. Lafont, she's going to have the time during the summer to put in place some things. I think there's an action plan that should be prepared to make sure that, first of all, as public, as taxpayers, we know that the person in place is taking actions, and at the same time to reassure the government that any money they're going to invest in the SAAQ is going to be at the right place, because they know that the SAAQ is not in a very interesting financial situation. So it's going to be a huge challenge for Ms. Lafont. Her experience in the private sector is probably going to help her a lot to bring a new culture, as you said, to the SAAQ, where results were lacking in the last years.
Just quickly before we wrap up, Transport Minister Geneviève Guilbeault is responsible for this file. So what does this mean for her? Because the Liberal opposition, they're saying she, Geneviève Guilbeault, ultimately needs to be held politically accountable here.
We're going to see how she goes through the inquiry. It's a good timing for Ms. Guilbeault because she needed someone who was able to take action at the SAAQ. That's what she didn't have with Mr. Ducharme. Now she put in place her own person. From what we understand, it was her own choice. She was impressed by the profile of this person. So she's going to have to get results, because at the end, she's the one who needs to answer to the public, to us as taxpayers, from the situation in the SAAQ fiasco. So she's going to have to answer to the inquiry, and we're going to know finally, did she know, what did she know, and what really happened in this situation. That's going to be the story of the next months.
All right, a story that is ever evolving. Thank you, Victor, as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good evening.